Welcome back to Pop Goes the Kernel, where we dive into today's latest pop culture, music, television, movies, and more.
I'm Libby Hecker.
I'm Marissa Armstrong.
I'm Gabby Mercedes.
And I'm Lauren Smiley.
So today's episode will include Bachelor updates, new releases in TV and music, spring break trends, and lots more.
Let's get popping.
The opinions expressed on this podcast are the speaker's own and don't uphold the opinions expressed by the Kentucky Kernel.
America's sweetheart, Dolly Parton, dedicated her new song, If You Hadn't Been There, to her late husband, Carl Dean. Carl recently passed away on March 3rd, so only a couple weeks ago. She says that she fell in love with Carl when she was 18, and the two of them spent 60 meaningful years together. Dolly said in an article that he will always be the star of her life story.
That makes me so sad because, she is someone that I've grown up with, so to see her go through heartbreak, because I feel like we've never really seen that from Dolly before. I feel like you don't see Dolly Parton go through heartbreak. So seeing this happen it makes me sad, okay? It makes me so sad.
I agree. She's recently been featured on a lot of different songs. We saw her with Sabrina Carpenter, Pitbull. These are all kind of out there. You'd never think Dolly Parton and Pitbull, but it is what it is. I wonder if she's going to ask anyone to sing this song with her. You know what I mean? Miley Cyrus is her goddaughter. I think that could really add a new demographic to her music for people listening, but also a new level of intentionalness and emotion to her song. What do you guys think?
I was going to say, I originally thought she wouldn't do it because it's so personal to her, but the point you bring up with Miley, that would be really special and really cool to see.
I feel like it would make it more special because it's different if you're bringing on some artist like Pitbull. I feel like you can't really do that as much, but Miley literally being her goddaughter, I think that would make it a little different.
Lady Gaga just released her brand new album called Mayhem, and she was also on SNL to promote this album as musical guest and host. How are we feeling about the album, everyone?
I mean, guys, I talked about it last time. We talked about Abracadabra. Love Lady Gaga. Love her whole persona. Her being on SNL and the musical guest, I mean, that's a big deal. I don't know a lot of artists who have done that. In her natural Lady Gaga fashion and her crazy outfits and everything for her performance. Just awesome. She released this whole new album. My favorite song currently is Garden of Eden in it. I know there's not a lot of Lady Gaga fans our age, but she's just awesome, guys. She's just, I'm sorry. I don't even know how to put it into words. She's just being on SNL, having these big performances, being this big performer in general, releasing all these songs, being in movies, all of it. She's just an all-around great artist, and especially with this new album.
She does it all.
I was kind of hating a couple episodes, actually, about this whole magic term thing. I did Eminem, I did her, whatever. I listened to the album, and I like the song Abracadabra, so I'm gonna kind of, take back my statement. Another fave on the album for me is Love Drug. I just love the beat of the song, and I think it's actually super catchy. Totally Lady Gaga on brand.
Honestly, I'm kind of with y'all. I'm loving the Abracadabra song. I like Disease, honestly. It just radiates Lady Gaga. I feel like when I'm listening to it, that is her. That is exactly her. Her entire album is just so her. And her with her crazy fashion, I feel like I can really feel it in the song. And I'm here for it because I really missed Lady Gaga because Loki grew up with her. So
Exactly. She's bringing back that old vibe.
Yeah, and to your point, like you said, not a lot of people our age are Lady Gaga fans, and I think we need to change that because she's such an icon for the generations. Where's she been? As we grown up, let's keep her going.
Get her on TikTok, it'll be just fine.
Let's
be so for real. Lady Gaga is timeless.
Oh,
she does never. Yeah. She never gets old. It never gets old.
She never does. Speaking of timeless, we have some new releases. Anxiety by Doechii. Swing for the Fences by Elton John. Elton John's back. He never left, but he's coming back around. He's still here. Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else by Benson Boone. Not at This Party. Daisha. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Can I just say, the Benson Boone thing, I understand, Marissa, I know. He's on TikTok. I get it. I get the appeal, whatever. this new song sounds like Panic at the Disco. Should sing it. I don't hear a lot of originality in his songs. I think he got on TikTok one day and was like, let me sing. That's kind of what it is to me. And I struggle with him.
I think he's still trying to find his niche, and I think the Panic at the Disco route is a smart move for him to go because he has those killer vocals. Like, he can sing. You've seen him perform live on stage. He has vocals. He can sing. But I think that's where his music has been struggling, as he can't find that niche quite yet. And I think he's slowly going to be moving into that route. Because I don't listen to his music a ton, but I can really appreciate his vocals.
Well, for Benson Boone, he kind of has he's getting into kind of his niche, like, especially with his earlier songs. So hearing Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else, it just doesn't even sound like him, which kind of goes to Lauren's point. Like, he's kind of trying to copy other people. I wouldn't say copy, but you kind of get the idea. And I'd like to see a little more originality with, like, his earlier songs, since this, like, it just seems so out there for him.
Personally, my least favorite song of this new releases list is Anxiety by Doechii. I can't stand this song. I hate it. I'm sorry, guys. It's all over TikTok. It's all I hear when I'm walking around my sorority house because someone's scrolling on TikTok. Oh, there it goes. I don't like it. I've been trying to get into Doechii because she's an amazing performer, but I don't like it. I don't like it.
You know, I don't love it either. I'm not going to fight you on that one, but Not at This Party by Daisha, love it.
No.
Listen, I mark my words, put this on the record. It's going to be the song of the summer. Sally, when the wine runs out, and this song are going to be the top 2 songs of the summer. I know you're hating right now, but we all hated Austin when it came out too.
True.
And that was the most overplayed.
I still hate it.
Me too, but it's overplayed.
It's going to be popular. It doesn't mean I like it. It's going to be popular. It doesn't mean I have to like it.
It's going to grow on you guys.
We were listening to it before this, and the backbeat is the same as her little Boots Stop Walkin' whatever song. It's just different words. And it's wannabe country pop. I'm not a fan of that. I'm very much a Chris Stapleton if I want to listen to country music, or even Megan Maroney is kind of pushing it for me. And I just pick a side. Pick pop or country.
Okay, that's fair.
It's kind of like the whole, like, Beyonce thing with it. On that backtracking to Anxiety, it has the same beat as Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier, if you guys know that song. Mm-hmm. That used to be, like, my song to listen to, which is probably why I like it so much. So it's probably my favorite, actually, of all of them, because I wasn't a huge fan of the other ones. I mean, Elton John, I'm going to be so for real, you would have never guessed he was in that song because he was so, like, background vocalist. Like, at that point, it wasn't even his song. He was just kind of there for the vibes, and I was not here for that vibe. So
I feel like that is a trend with some of his newer songs, especially his newer song with Dua Lipa. You can kind of barely tell that he's in it. He's, again, in the backtrack. But, yeah, it's nice to see all these new songs. A lot of new artists are dropping new songs a lot. So, I mean, this whole list is pretty much all new artists except for Elton John. But I don't know. I'm excited to see these new artists keep popping up and, you know, dropping new songs and new albums. Speaking of Malibu Barbie, Mattel is releasing new dolls for Women's History Month. And these Barbies are going to be stars in the music industry, different dolls honoring female friendships, which is super sweet. I think it's so cute. I love Barbies. So what do you guys think? Would it be cool to have a Barbie made after you?
Oh my gosh, yes. I'd love to have a Barbie named after me. I don't know what kind of vibe I'd give my Barbie. Like, would she be high school Lauren, like an athlete, basketball player, baller?
Podcast Barbie, anyone?
Yeah.
yes.
Like, what vibe would Barbie Lauren have?
I would love to be a Barbie. I mean, I think I aspire to be like typical Barbie all the time. So having a Barbie made after me, I mean, I made it, guys.
I want nothing more than to be a Barbie, because growing up, they never have any curly-haired Barbie dolls that look like me. So I remember growing up, like, I think I would have so much more self-confidence if I could have a Barbie that had curly hair, because it probably would have inspired me to wear my hair natural a lot sooner in life, because low-key, my curly hair is like my confidence. And I think other young girls who have curly hair, who are like embarrassed about it, Imagine seeing a doll that is curly hair just like yours. I would kill for that. But Barbie has yet to bless the curly hair community with that. So, but, you know, if we're making some female icons, I think this podcast could be a really good candidate for some Barbies.
Yo, Mattel, you hear that? You hear us?
I agree with that. Just keeping with the empowering women, making these Barbies of them. I think it's great for all the generations to see, because as we saw in the Barbie movie, it used all generations. So just keeping with the Women's History Month and empowering each other is awesome.
Speaking of empowering women, the first full-time Black alphabet in the musical Wicked, in time for Women's History Month, Lanicia Kebede made history for this. First time ever, and right in time, Women's History Month. She originally toured with Hamilton the musical. She was Angelica Schuyler. Love me some Schuyler sisters. Love me some Hamilton. She's also a lead singer and soloist for the Disney parks in California. So she really does it all as far as singing. But on top of all this, she was the Racial Justice Task Force co-founder during her time at Hamilton. She co-founded this. She's been fighting for this, and she is making Broadway history. Honestly, she's making history, period. How are we feeling, ladies?
I think it's really cool to see, because I feel like Wicked is one of those classic shows that's kind of untouched. So to see something like this is really cool and empowering.
And it's awesome to see. I feel like Wicked has been running for so long on Broadway, and the fact that this is the first time that we've had a Black Alphaba full-time is kind of crazy to me, but I'm really excited to see how this transitions the show and just makes the show.
Especially with her being a racial equality activist, like, this is huge, not only for her, but for every woman out there, because this has never happened before. And especially with Cynthia literally being Alphaba in the movie that everybody raves about, getting to see it transpire over onto the stage. What a great way to celebrate Women's History Month.
This Summer I Turned Pretty just announced its third and final season, which will be coming out in July. I'm so excited. I love this show. I love the books. Jenny Han wrote the books originally and then turned it into a TV show. She's well known in the world of like romance genre type things. She wrote and produced To All the Boys I've Loved Before movies and the television show XO Kitty, which is based off of the To All the Boys I've Loved Before movies. I've seen all of them. I love all of her stuff.
I have too, and I've read all of the books. So I don't know. I'm excited for this next season.
She's the queen of a love triangle, and that's something I love about The Summer I Turned Pretty is you don't really know how it's going to go. I mean, I've read the book, so I know how the story is going to end, but I'm not going to spoil that for anyone here. Basically, essentially the show follows the story of Belly Conklin, who's in a love triangle between two brothers that she grew up going to Cousins Beach, a little beach house with, and her families all grew up together. And she falls in love with both brothers, and it's a whole drama.
Classic romance.
I don't know about you guys, but I think the show is kind of cringy. I understand the appeal. Like, I liked the movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I kind of liked The Summer I Turned Pretty, the first season. But now I feel like we're dragging it on. I'm like, ugh, every time I'm watching it because it's, like, so predictable and cringy. It gives me, like, middle school vibes. I don't know.
I honestly have to agree with Lauren. Like, me personally, I could never get into the show. Like, I literally made it through the first season, and even then I was like, oh, gosh. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a little cringe. It kind of makes me feel very, like, middle school-esque. So.
I love those cringy things, as we've talked about before. As cringy as it is, there's drama. I just want to keep watching, and I want to find out what happens, and I'm excited to actually find out how this family ends and everything mends between these brothers and, you know, all their friendships. So I'm excited. I mean, I'll be tuning in, definitely.
Yeah, I originally watched the show because Taylor Swift released This Love Taylor's version for season 1 of the show, and I was like, I guess I have to watch this show because Taylor's in it. And then I fell in love with the show. I watched it about like 4 times, and then season 2 came out. You know how it goes. But because of the soundtrack, there's a lot of popular artists in the Summer I Turned Pretty soundtrack. I don't know how Jenny Han does it, but she's got Taylor Swift, she's got Olivia Rodrigo, she's got it all. Is there any music that you want to see in this third season? I want to see some Lizzie McAlpine personally. I know Lola Tung, one of the actors of the show, loves Lizzie, so I think it would be fun to see that in the show.
As much as I love these little like girl boss artists that are in this show to kind of portray Belly and her friendships and everything like that. I kind of wish it was more like a beachy vibe of the soundtrack, especially with like Outer Banks and stuff like that. Like those songs that you hear in those shows, like it's beach time, it's summer, and it's sunny, like Empire of the Sun, everything. It's great. So I would love to hear more of like a summery, beachy feel. I don't know. I feel like sometimes the show, it's the summer I turn pretty, but it's just, where's the summer in it other than being at a beach house?
Right. Like cue up Walking on a Dream, Empire of the Sun, like you just said. Left Hand Free is like an infamous song in Outer Banks. We know it for being like a summery, beachy vibe. You hear that song, you're like, okay, it's summer at the beach.
Honestly, I'm with Libby. Like my song of the summer was Heat Waves by the Glass Animals. Like I would have killed to have a song that's like similar to that, because it is literally called The Summer I Turned Pretty. What do you mean there's nothing like beachy? Like I want the next song of the summer to come from this soundtrack. If anything is going to come good out of this for me, I need it to be a good summer song.
Speaking of love triangles, rectangles, octagons, whatever shape you're feeling, Bachelor season is coming to an end.
So a little Bachelor update. We're into the last few episodes of this season, which, if you don't know, are the fantasy suites and the proposal. And right now we just had the Women Tell All, which, lots of drama as usual. So now that we're getting into these last few episodes, how do we feel about how this season has panned out? Are we liking Grant? What people are we sad that left? Like, I know personally, when Dina left, sorry spoilers, but Dina left, she was my girl. She was so emotionally mature. I just loved her. She was a girl boss. I was so upset when she was gone, and I really think that Grant really just does not seem interested. I don't know if that's just because he's not comfortable on camera, or I don't know.
He signed up for that, though.
I'm bored of him. Like, I never have felt connected to him ever, from Jen's season to now. Like, he's had so many episodes. I still don't even know what he's got going on other than the fact that he used to play basketball. Like, and I don't like him.
I don't think he shows his personality very much, especially in his dates. I feel like with Joey, we could see all the different parts of his personality and who he is, especially through those one-on-ones and group dates and stuff like that. Like, the group dates, I think, have been awful. It's just it's just the same thing. It's the same. I know he had a rough life, all that stuff. Everyone has their sob story on these shows like that. But I feel like the episodes are just the same thing over and over and over. I'm like, I heard this already, but I know you need to talk about it. But I heard it. It's not very interesting. It really isn't. And the girls aren't really sticking out to me either.
He's like almost not emotional enough for the show. But then you look at like Dina, and she's almost too emotionally intelligent to be on the show. Like, she doesn't have enough drama. She's too put together, I think.
Exactly. And she's just, sorry guys, I could just talk about her forever. Like, she really, really is what we needed on the show. I feel like we haven't had such a emotionally intelligent person like that since Daisy. I mean, we saw in the finale of that season how she handled that. You can go see that if you want, but I just feel like she really just portrayed this mature woman, and I feel like that kind of gets lost in this show because there's so much drama. So yeah, but there were some big announcements at the Women Tell All.
I am so excited. Paradise will be coming back this summer. For those of you who don't know, Paradise is when they take the pool of everyone that's been in Bachelor Nation for the past couple of seasons, throw them on a beach, and they say, find someone to date. It's kind of like a Love Island type thing, but it's all the people we've seen on past seasons we've learned to love or hate, because they bring the villains too. It's my favorite of the Bachelor franchise. If I'm ranking them, I'm going Paradise, then I'm going Bachelorette, and then I'm going Bachelor. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the Bachelor
Paradise
as much.
is my favorite. I think that was the first thing I watched in all the Bachelor. It's so much fun.
Paradise is easily the most drama-filled one, for sure, hands down. Parisa, please come to Paradise. Represent Michigan. We need to see you guys.
They always edit Paradise to be so funny too, because instead of like their normal job descriptions that you'll have on the regular seasons, it'll be like a meme about like something that's happening on this. They're so funny, and they're always so messy with it. Who else would you guys want to see on Paradise?
Now let me tell you guys, I'm gonna be really honest. Don't come swinging at me. I am not a fan of the Bachelor franchise at all.
That's
So-
crazy for her, I think.
It just, I know it like feels, I feel like I should probably like it, but I just can't get behind it. Like, I think I've watched maybe one episode from this new season, and it's probably because Marissa forced it upon me, and I could not get into it. I like Joey Grosseday, but I'm going to be so for real. I did not know him until Dancing with the Stars. I've never been able to get into The Bachelor. I just can't do it. And honestly, after watching that one episode with Grant, I think I could go my entire life and never watch it again because he is so incredibly boring.
Don't let Grant ruin
He's
it.
on his way.
That's because Zach ruined it for me. Zach's season was bad, and then Joey brought a light back to me. He really did. So
Joey was almost the reason I started watching The Bachelor, and then they picked Grant, and now I just can't get behind it.
maybe Paradise will reignite your love for Bachelor Nation.
Going back to your question about who else we would like to see on Paradise, if we can get Mr. Tyler Cameron back, I would be very happy. I know he's like all famous now, but come back. Maybe you still need to find your wife, like me.
Like, put me on the beach.
Like him and Maria. We could have Maria come back.
Oh, Maria
too.
should come back
Like,
from Joey's season.
I'm excited to see Hakeem from last season.
Yes.
He's got the good facials. He was at the Woman Tell All doing reactions. I just love him. He's funny.
I think I would make a great contestant. I'd love a free beach trip. Free beach trip, please, please. I'll take it. You know, that way I can be like, you know what? My favorite contestant on The Bachelor is myself.
Me. I'll sign you up. I can sign a friend up. I'll sign you up, girl.
Thank you so much.
Marissa, it's your favorite time of year.
You know it.
The dress code for the Met Gala has recently been revealed. The theme is tailored for you, asking those attending to engage in their personal style. The dress code goes hand in hand with the gala's theme, Superfine Tailoring Black Style, which is focused on black menswear.
I'm so excited. Like you said, the Met Gala is my time to shine. I'm watching the live streams. I'm keeping up on Twitter, seeing who's on the carpet now, like what's happening. And I'm just so excited. And this theme is so good. I feel like we've kind of had flop themes the past couple of years, and they're all kind of chaotic. But it's really kind of going to be hard to mess this one up unless you're boring. And I think it's going to be a chance for designers to really showcase their creativity because it is kind of more of a vague theme. It's mostly just suits, basically. But here's what I will say. I know I mentioned last week, I'm tired. I'm sick of men showing up in plain, boring black suits.
Yes!
And if I see one man on the red carpet or the Met Gala carpet in a boring black suit, I'm gonna be mad because this is your chance. The Met Gala is the one opportunity for you to be creative and do literally anything.
I'm so sick and tired of seeing these boring men outfits. We are getting to the point where we are out of award season. Step up your game. The Met Gala is your chance. I am so sick and tired of seeing these. You know what? I'll give it to Timothy Chalamet. His highlighter outfit. His highlighter outfit. You know what?
It was unique. It was fun.
It was different,
creative.
and we needed different. I was tired of seeing the same thing walking every award show carpet. I needed this. I need this, guys. You don't understand.
Gabby, I can't. I love the black suit. I'm going to think about prom. Let's bring you guys back to high school prom and homecoming.
This is not prom.
I understand. The guys that did not wear the black, navy, or gray suits in high school used to really just, like, oh my gosh, it would
they
make
had
me
their
so mad.
stereotypes.
I have the
It's
same
prom.
opinion about the Met Gala. Classic, just look like polished. Frankenstein isn't polished. You see?
But it's different, Lauren.
I think
Different isn't always good.
you can be creative in so many different ways on this carpet. Like, because, I mean, you're going to be judged by the general public, but it's just a statement. You can do literally whatever you want. We've had people holding heads of themselves. We've had
Who remembers
so many
the cat costume?
Yeah, we've
The
had so
castle
many
costume.
things. Like, you don't have to do a giant gown. You could do some random corset with some
Show up in
sweater
an
on
egg,
that-
Lady Gaga.
Literally, or hamburger, Katy Perry. Like, what? You can do anything. So I'm excited to see the creativity you can bring with this because there's so many. It's a very broad. What's the word I'm looking for? Category. Yes. So there's so many different ways you can go about it. I'm excited for it. Speaking of upcoming fashion, spring and summer are approaching quickly with the weather getting warmer. We're all getting out of our winter slump, winter clothes. all of it. So these are some fashion trends that are we're predicted to see in this summer and spring era, especially with spring break coming up. Okay, sequins, seashells, bright florals, button downs, sheer, everything sheer, boat shoes. I'm not really sure what that is. But anyways, I'm kind of excited for this seashell moment. It's a lot of like the flat seashells that like people are making skirts out of. It's kind of cute. I hope it doesn't get chuggy, especially with the sequin vibe. That kind of throws me off a little bit, as we've talked before.
I think we are close to chuggy. We're very much walking the line, people. I'm not going to lie. But then again, I think classic looks best. I think, stick with it. Clearly, I think that with the red carpet, I think it still applies here. Boat shoes kind of have me a little confused. Like, I know when you're on a boat, you're not supposed to wear shoes with, like, dark soles because it ruins the boat. But, like,
I think there's a lot of coastal vibes. I feel like, but it's also giving, like, rave meets coastal. If
this
that makes
whole
sense.
list is giving coastal grandma went out with her granddaughter who really likes to go to raves in Miami.
That's what
That
it
is
is. I'm
exactly
telling
what
you.
it is.
That's what
Description.
it sounds like.
No.
I don't know. I'm excited, but we'll see.
Now, let me tell you, I'm here for all of these, but the minute they start mixing these seashells and these sequins, I'm out.
It's
Not
giving like
doing it.
Justice, like 2012
Oh, no.
maybe. And I really don't want to see it cross the line. As much as I was a Justice kid growing up and I love my Justice shirts, we don't need to cross that line again.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll see, especially with spring break coming up. We'll really get to see a lot of these trends and see what happens.
We're getting into my favorite time of the year. March Madness for both men and women's basketball is right around the corner. Right now, we're in SEC tournament time. We're in SEC school. This is a big deal, so lock in, even if you're not a sports fan. Marissa.
Don't worry, I got you, girl.
But specifically, I want to touch on the outfits, and maybe this will get you to watch basketball a little bit more. Kim Mulkey, LSU's head coach, known for her fashion. Mark Pope, on the other hand, wears a suit and rup, but doesn't wear a suit when he plays away. I think it kind of has a lot to do with like I respect Rupp Arena, I don't respect the opponent. What do you guys think?
I actually had this talk with my parents when I was home last. We were watching a UK game and it was away. And my mom was like, why is Pope not wearing a suit? But it's a big thing for the opposing coaches to not wear suits, which I don't know. With the women's basketball team coaches, I love when they dress up. The heels, the suits, all the colors, everything. I don't know. I think if I was a coach, I would definitely be out there in that full outfit.
The women's coaches look phenomenal, but then you look at like a Kenny Brooks, and he's in his like Lululemon pants and UK quarter zip. And then you got Kim Mulkey on the other side in her full-blown pantsuit. Like, where should it be?
I think they should definitely wear a suit. I think
so too.
Like in a Division I SEC college basketball game, you should be fully dressed to impress. I mean, you're just waving your arms, yelling at people anyways. It's not like you're actually going to play.
This is their job. This is their
Exactly.
professional setting.
I agree, and especially in an SEC environment, we come to represent and like showcase ourselves. So going to another school and not looking your best, I don't know. It doesn't really like show the level of respect that I feel like a lot of SEC schools have.
And I see it like that, but I also see it both ways. Like, okay, Mark Pope isn't giving Arkansas or wherever we're going to play like that respect because, this is just another game where it's a bigger deal when we play in Rupp.
For Kim Mulkey, though, some of our outfits are like amazing, girl boss, and then we have like some cheetah print action going on. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for it, but that kind of like sometimes it almost makes me wonder how much is too much. Like, of course, I'm all for the dress nice, dress appropriate. You're going to an away game. You are on the sidelines. I get you're the coach, but come on, dress it up. Maybe we don't need to be wearing like basketballs on the sweater kind of thing.
That was a bad look.
Yeah, the cheetah print like shawl. Like maybe we can stick with the suits or stick with something very like classy, professional, girl boss, like we love to see on our women coaches. Keeping on the topic of sports, there are talks with FIFA and Coldplay to be doing the first ever halftime show for the final of the World Cup in 2026. FIFA president announced March 5th that they were kind of talking with the manager and the lead singer about doing their first ever show. Of course, it will be held in the U.S. Partnership with U.S., Canada, and Mexico. We love our American games, don't we? So, how are we feeling? Are we Coldplay fans? Me personally, I'm a huge Coldplay fan. I'm so excited to see them come. And sports, as far as all the sports, soccer is my favorite. I grew up on soccer. So you're telling me we're combining what is my Super Bowl with one of my favorite artists. I'm hyped. I'm so hyped.
I love Coldplay. I think they put on a great show. I've seen TikToks of their concerts and they just look beautiful. That's like my biggest life goal, is to go see Coldplay in concert. Even though I don't listen to them as much anymore, like I feel like I know a lot of their songs and they're just such performers, so I'd love to see.
I feel like a lot of their concerts are like an experience.
Yeah.
And there are lots of colors, a lot going on. They were the halftime show for Super Bowl 50. So I'm curious to see how they do this halftime show.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because the FIFA president kind of hinted that it was going to be very Super Bowl-like. Not exactly the same, I'm sure, but considering they have Super Bowl experience, I think it's only going to help make it better.
I think it'll be interesting to see how they do this or how they pull this off, because FIFA's never had a halftime show. So if they decide to do it, it can't exceed 15 minutes. So I'll be amazed if they can pull off like a Super Bowl level halftime performance with so little time set up and take down production and the performance itself. It'll be interesting to see how this one unfolds.
Especially since everybody needs time to warm up, especially for a soccer game. But are we feeling good with Coldplay? Is there someone else that you guys would probably rather see or you think would end up doing it? Because it is not confirmed that Coldplay is going to be doing it, but they are definitely in the works, and they're also working with other artists. However, as I said, not confirmed. So any predictions?
I think it definitely needs to be somebody who is like a big soccer fan. I'm not really into soccer. I'm not really a Coldplay fan. So somebody who's like I'm going to lock in and love soccer should perform.
I feel like Coldplay is a good option. I feel like that's, all their songs are very well known everywhere. So I feel like that's a good option. It really is, if it ends up working out.
Honestly, I'd be down for Shakira. I don't know if you all are kind of feeling that vibe, but I remember her kind of song she's used, Africa. We all love that one. I love that song so much. Honestly, I'd be fine with it kind of being a vibe like that. It just needs to be upbeat, because, come on, it's the World Cup, guys.
Guys, Trisha Paytas is back in the news.
Jeez, when is Trisha Paytas not in the news?
I love to see it. I love her so much. She just announced that after dealing with infertility struggles, she's pregnant with baby number 3 with her husband Moses. And so for those of you who don't know who Trisha Paytas is, she's kind of an internet sensation. She had a YouTube channel. She was starring on many like reality and game shows. She was on America's Got Talent.
What was her talent?
Oh, reading fast or rapping fast. She was on Ellen for that. She was on Dr. Phil. She's been on Modern Family. Like so many different things.
Back it up. She was on Dr. Phil.
She was on Dr. Phil.
Why?
That I don't know, but I do know she was on Dr. Phil. But she was also on Broadway recently. She had her own Broadway show called Trisha Paytas' Big Broadway Debut.
Oh my gosh.
I just love her. Anyways, she has 2 children currently, and their names sparked some controversy around the internet. Her first child's name was Malibu Barbie. First name Malibu, middle name Barbie.
After a plastic doll.
I love Malibu
Second
Barbie.
child, Elvis. Little baby girl Elvis. What are our thoughts?
Little baby girl Elvis.
Little baby girl Elvis. Yes.
Oh!
What are our thoughts on name predictions for baby number 3? Any thoughts?
Not that this is so far-fetched of me to say, but it's definitely going to be something totally absurd. I don't even know where to begin with the prediction. She might make up her own word and try to put it in the dictionary and name her kid whatever she can come up with. She's always doing the unexpected.
Let's take a minute and remember, she is the same woman that made a song about not only Jesus, but her husband Moses.
Moses, I love you, Jesus.
I love you,
Moses.
Jesus. And then there was another one called I Love You, Moses. They're 2 different tracks. There is no way that this is not going to be some name that has everybody like gasping for air, either laughing or being like, why would you do that to your child?
My thing is, she owns it. She owns who she is. so much, and the names of her children they're not absurd. I mean, they're names like we
I
hear.
feel they are absurd.
Like Malibu. I love me a Malibu Barbie. I got my pink nails, like all of it. Elvis, like.
But Malibu Barbie's going to go apply for a job one day.
But listen,
first name Malibu.
Wait, this is the other part. It's better than naming your kid some like random like
Gwyneth Paltrow Apple?
yeah, like something weird
Okay, yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? Like Elvis might be better than like I don't know.
He's
some
going to get
weird
asked to
name
sing like
that you know.
Jailhouse Rock or something. Or she is.
Honestly, I would rather be named Elvis. I mean, I got my pink nails too, Libby. I'm all for a Malibu Barbie, but I don't know that I'd want to have to explain that to an employer in the future, so.
We're back with another round of some hot takes. I'll start us off. For The Summer I Turned Pretty, I'm obviously Team Conrad. He's the right choice. He's the man. He's the cute one. He's the best brother, obviously.
I'm Team Jeremiah. He's cute. He's silly. He's fun. He's just like I don't know. He makes it known that he wants to be with her. I feel like Conrad is just so confusing all the time, and it's just. I don't know. It's stressful for me.
It's always been Conrad. She's always been in love with Conrad. And Jeremiah's cringy. And, I mean, I'm not going to give any spoilers for, like, next season. But I'll just leave it there. Team Conrad always.
Well, we'll see if my opinion changes next season. So, I think Wicked needs, like, I'm tired of hearing about Wicked.
Could not agree more. Get rid of it. This is the last I want to hear about it. Bye-bye, Wicked from Pop Goes the Kernel. Sorry about it. I think spring break destinations are so overrated. Like, specific ones, though. You won't catch me dead in Fort Lauderdale. Sorry.
Honestly, I'm going to have to agree with Lauren on this 100%. I was just talking about it with someone the other day. I do not want to keep seeing, especially freshmen in college, going to PCV and Fort Lauderdale. Those are the two most common places to go. I get it. They're, like, probably the least expensive. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm going home. I'm going to rest. It's called spring break for a reason. But, you know, we all have our opinions, right?
To each their own.
Men's basketball is nice and all for my sports fans, especially you, Lauren. But come on, women's basketball has such a bigger impact on especially younger girls. And I feel like the sport for women is so overlooked.
I totally agree. It's Women's History Month, guys. Like, let's pay attention to these female athletes because they're rocking it and they do not get enough credit.
All right, so we hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode.
Please visit kykernel.com.
And follow us on all social media platforms. That's X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify.
Thanks for listening to Pop Goes the Kernel. See y'all next week.
Pop Goes the Kernel is produced by Gianna Gallo, featuring Libby Hecker, Marissa Armstrong, Gabby Mercedes, and Lauren Smiley. Edited by Jackson LaCroix.